Good morning, everyone. I don't know, my camera's, hold on, let me get my camera to focus. Here, there we go. Good morning. I hope you all are enjoying this beautiful Saturday morning. My phone is on. That's my voice. I will never get used to hearing my voice as we record these classes. I'm Mikki. If you've not practiced with me before, I am apparently flying solo this morning. My fur children are all still in bed. So maybe you're having a little bit of a sleepy morning too. That's what it feels like in this household. But that sun is so gorgeous, and I just appreciate you all being here with us this morning. Those of you who practice with us as a recording instead of live, also appreciate you all being here too. Good morning, Sarah. Glad you're here. We are going to move our bodies this morning and just get into some of those tight places. Oh, look, she heard me talking poorly about her sleeping in. Shanti has arrived. We're just going to get into some of the tight places, let some things go that maybe feel a bit stiff and stuck this morning, and breathe together, move together. And as you go through your practice today, anytime that things just aren't feeling right in your body, just say no. Just modify a bit, shift it up, change it up, skip things. And if you just need to kind of curl up into a ball with a blanket and take another nap, you'll hear me say namaste at the end, and that'll be your wake up call. Hi, Jacob. Really glad you're here. Jacob says, welcome, Shanti. Good morning, Jennifer. Yay, glad you're here. All right, everyone. If you're using that playlist, you can go ahead and press play on that. Anytime that you have any technical difficulties during class, if something goes wrong, just throw it in the chat. I'll have this near me. Oh, hi, yes. And we are going to come down onto our backs this morning to get started. Good morning, Amy. Welcome. Glad you're here. Hi. If I didn't say press play on your music, you can press play. All right, knees bent, feet on the floor, feet wide. Let's take your arms out into a T or a goalpost shape. And let's take your knees, let them fall toward the right, and your gaze toward the left. And then back to center, nose and knees to the sky, and we'll go knees left, gaze right. Back to center, nose and knees to the sky, just nice and slow there. Knees to the right, gaze to the left. Maybe inhaling to center and exhaling to the side. Knees left, nose right. And let's just exist there a couple times, starting to feel that rhythm, that harmony of breath and body moving as one as you go side to side. Taking a couple more rounds there on your own. I'm gonna go fix something. And then let's take one more to each direction there. And we're going to end up in center, nose and knees pointed toward the ceiling, and let those knees drop in on each other like a little mountaintop. Now, you're going to let the legs just settle there. We're going to take your two hands up to the sky. Big X with your arms, crisscrossing above the elbows, and let's bend those elbows and drop your hands down around the outer shoulders. Let's take a big inhale here. And a full exhale. One more time, big full inhale. And full complete exhale. Let's just notice which arm is closest to your chin. We're going to reach those two hands up to the sky and recross with the other arm closest to your chin. Just let those hands dangle. Arms should be resting on your chest as opposed to your neck or your face. And let's take a couple full breaths here on this cross on this side. Honoring this morning through your breath and your practice, just the complexities of being human, this thing we wake up and do every single day. I think in the doing of it every single day, we lose that understanding sometimes of just how hard and how complex it is to wake up and be human every single day, to navigate life, to show up in the way that we want to show up. And while there are tons of self-help books, there's no one official manual to life. And so this morning, as you move and breathe, just giving yourself a little added space, a little compassion, a little forgiveness wherever you need it, a little patience. Honoring all of the complexities that you navigated this week, all of the complexities in your life in this moment. Just giving yourself a bit of a pat on the back for showing up. Now we're going to take this cross of your arms, and I purposely left you here on the second side a little bit longer than the first side because this likely is the way that you don't naturally cross by habit. So some of you are just going to stay here with this hugged arm shape. Some of you are going to start to create those eagle arms. So I want you to fist your hands and just start to kind of move those hands toward each other like you're going to crisscross the wrists. And some of you will be able to do that. You can open the fists and press the palms together. Some of you, the hands will just get sort of close to each other. You're going to keep those two fists and the elbows pushing into each other. And then I want you just to start to move those hands and arms toward the ground above your head. And then elbows back down toward the belly. All right, so it's not going to be a huge amount of movement. Inhale, elbows or hands, toward the ground above you. And exhale, elbows toward that belly. Let's do that 2 more times, creating and encouraging almost like a sense of gliding in those shoulders and the arms. Now, the next time those elbows come toward your belly, let's go ahead and unravel. Notice which arm is on top. Take those hands back up to the sky. And we're going to recross into that hug with your other arm closest to your chin. See if you can actually get your hands to wrap all the way around the back of the shoulders. And then it'll be kind of tricky to actually pull the shoulder blades apart. But I want you just to have a sense that you could create a little extra width breath across that upper back. And then either staying here or fisting those hands, starting to move the hands toward each other. You've got your elbows crossed. Some of you will be able to take those hands into eagle arms. Some of you will keep the two fists. Some of you will keep the hug. Regardless, we're going to start to take those elbows away from the chest and over the face any amount. And then elbows back in toward the chest and belly. All right. It's not so much about the range of movement. It's more about starting to create this sense of glide in the shoulders. And through that glide, through that release of tension and stuckness, starting to create maybe a sense of life and space once again around your neck, your shoulders, your jaw. This is going to be our last one here. And then as those elbows come in toward the belly this next time, let's take those hands and arms, uncrossing them, hands toward the sky. Turn the palms toward your face, and let's lower those arms down to the ground with the back of the hands pressing into the floor beside your body. Now, outer thumbs trying to roll into the floor. Let's take those outer shoulders down into the ground. You might even walk those shoulder blades underneath you just a bit. And then we're going to wiggle your feet to hip width, knees to hip width. Inhale, let's press into your feet, lift your hips. Starting here on the ground this morning by waking up the various parts of the body. Exhale, hips are going to come right back down. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, hips down. We're going to take this for a few more rounds as we settle in here. You can stay with just the hips, or this time as you lift hips, maybe you also take your hands up to the sky and up and back behind you. And then exhale, lower. How about 2 more here with your breath at your own pace. Inhale, lifting. And exhale, lowering. Now, as those hips lower this time, let's bring the knees into the chest, hands on your kneecaps, fingers pointing toward your toes. Pull those knees in nice and tight, and then exhale. Let's press those legs away. Arms go straight, but legs stay bent. Inhale, bend elbows, pull those knees in. How about 2 more? Press. Inhale, pull in. 1 more time, press. And pull. As you pull in this time, let's reach your hands down onto shins or ankles or feet. Pull your chin up towards your knees. Just breathe into this little tiny ball, this little tiny seed of yourself. And then we're going to start to rock and roll up and down your spine. And we are making our way up and over into your table pose. Good morning, Kayla. So finding that table shape, wrists below shoulders, knees below hips, we're going to continue to get into the body this morning. Little side to side movement of head and hips. So hips and head are going to pull toward the right. So if you're new to this kind of side caterpillar shape, the hips are going to want to move away from the head. And I really want you to move them in the same direction. So here your right waist is shortened, left waist is long. And then switch, hips to the left, head to the left. Let's go 2 more times to each side. To the right and to the left. 1 more time to the right and to the left. We'll come back to center and start to move into that more traditional cat-cow shape. Inhale, belly down, cow. Exhale, spine rounding for cat. Cow pose as you breathe in. Cat pose as you breathe out. Couple more rounds here. Each breath helping to create a bit more space, a bit more simplicity in this moment, right? Starting to clear out some of the clutter that you're carrying with you, whether that's physical clutter, mental clutter, emotional clutter. We're going to take 1 more round here. And then the next time you inhale, we're settling into your table pose, flat, long spine. We're going to take your right leg all the way back to straight with the toes on the ground. And we're going to press back through that right heel until you feel the calf really lengthen, back of the ankle open. Now let's take a big inhale here. Allow that belly to really fill and expand. As you exhale, feel your belly button pull up toward your spine, really supporting that low back. Option to stay where you're at. Option to take your left arm and reach it forward. As you do that, keep pressing that right thigh toward the sky. Let the back of the neck be super long. And then feel as though you're lifting yourself out of that right wrist and right shoulder. And then let your left hand come down. Bend your right knee, come to table. 1 round of cat-cow, drop belly, lift heart, lift head. Spine rounds, exhale. Inhale, table. And let's get that other side. Left leg lengthens back. Toes on the floor, press back through that heel, feel the calf lengthen. Keep pressing down into that right shin for stability. Feel a full inhale here. Let that belly soften and expand. Sorry. As you exhale, feel belly button pull toward the spine, and maybe take that right arm, reach it forward. Left hand is on the ground, but minimize how much weight it's holding. Just allow yourself to elongate. And then hand comes down. Shin comes down. 1 more time, cow pose, drop belly. Exhale, cat pose. We'll come into that cow pose, tuck the toes under, and let's take hips up and back, downward facing dog. Now, as you find your down dog this morning, we're going to actually just step your feet wide off of your yoga mat, as wide as is comfortable for you. And let's walk your hands back maybe about halfway to the feet until you can pop up onto your fingertips and really allow that weight to shift back into your legs. If you need to have a bend to the knees, you put a bend to the knees. What I want you to start to cultivate here is this great sense of length from your pelvis, your tailbone, all the way through the sides of the waist, all the way through those arms, all the way out through the fingertips. And while those hands are in front of you, can the weight be reaching and efforting back? Let the head hang between your two arms. Let's take one more really full inhale here, expanding in all directions around your waist. As you exhale fully and completely, soften something. And then we're going to take your weight back into your hands, let those palms flatten. Walk your hands back to their normal down dog length and walk your feet back in to that normal down dog position, whatever that is. What is a normal dog? We don't know. What is a normal human? Also not sure. All right, right leg. Let's take it up toward the sky, any amount. Give a little roll to that right ankle. And then as you exhale, let's bend that right knee. Bring your right knee in toward your nose. Let's give it a little kiss. Back up to the sky and foot to the floor. We're going to do that same thing on the left. Left leg lifts. Even weight across your entire palm. Little roll of that left ankle. Exhale, knee to heart, knee to chest. Maybe give it a kiss. Sound effects always encouraged. Foot to the sky and foot to floor. Let's do that one more time on each side. Right leg lifts. We'll just go with the breath here. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, kick it back. Foot comes down. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, kick it back. Exhale, lower it down. Rise up onto the tippy toes of both feet. Look forward and let's stroll. Top of the mat, feet to hands. Bend the knees when you need to. When you get there, halfway lift. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, let it go. Fold. And then let's bend those knees, roll up inch by inch by inch, all the way to standing. And as you arrive upright, let's take your two hands up to the sky. Exhale, we're going to sit down, bending your knees into chair any amount. Inhale, reach up through your fingertips. And then exhale, we're going to fold over your legs, let your hands sweep down and back, head falls. As you inhale, we're going to rise all the way up to standing, hands go up. And at the top there, we're going to bend your elbows out into a goalpost shape, heart lifts, air high fives, or real high fives to your practice buddies. And inhale, reach back up. Palms come together overhead. As you exhale, we're going to fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, let's fold and step that left leg back. We're going to put your back knee down on the floor. We're not here very long, but if you want to pad the knee, pad the knee. And then we're going to take your hands and reach them back. Push that right heel into the ground, pull back so you feel that activity of the right leg, and minimize how much you're just leaning onto that right thigh. With your next inhale, we're going to bring your shoulders over your hips, and then your hands up to the sky. Maybe look up toward the ceiling. And then exhale, hands come down around your front foot. Tuck your back toes under if they're not already. Lift that knee. And we're going to step our way back. It doesn't need to be graceful. Just find a way. Plank pose. Now, as you find that plank pose, if you want to put knees down, put knees down. If your knees stay lifted this morning, let's take a little rock forward and back on your feet. So press forward to the tippy toes, press back through your heels. Let's do that one more time. And then let's all come forward on the toes, put your knees on the floor, shine your heart forward, look forward. Elbows bend straight back all the way down to the belly. On the ground there, untuck your toes. Inhale, baby cobra, little lift of your heart. Back to the forehead and belly, exhale. And we're going to press up through table and all the way back into downward facing dog. When you find that down dog, we'll inhale left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it forward. Back knee to the ground. Let that lean of your torso remain, but just minimize how much you're kind of sitting and laying on that front thigh. Hands reach back. When you're ready, inhale, shoulders over hips, hands up to the ceiling. Maybe look up. And then hands come down. Back toes tuck under, knee lifts, look forward. And we'll step your back foot to meet the front foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Fingers as high up the shins as you need to really feel that length of your spine. Exhale, fold. Rise up, reach up, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, sit back to chair. Let's stay for your inhale. Get long from tailbone through fingertips. And then exhale, drape over those bent legs, hands reach back, head falls. Inhale, we'll sweep all the way up to standing. Hands go skyward and then bend those elbows. Heart lifts, goalpost arms. Pausing here for a breath. And then hands go up. Inhale. Palms together. Exhale, we fold. Halfway lift. Inhale. This time as you exhale, that right leg is stepping back. We're going to keep that back knee off the ground this time, unless you like that back knee down version. Just like we did in our low lunge, we're going to start by reaching your hands back. Minimize how much you're laying on that front thigh. Inhale, shoulders over hips, and then hands to the sky. Maybe look up. And exhale, hands down around your front foot. Back we go, plank pose. Knees up or down. We have 3 breaths here. And if you're going to keep the knees up, I'm going to encourage you again to play this morning with that rock back and that rock forward. Now your choice for our vinyasa, that lowering to the belly chaturanga, if you want knees up or down. I'm going to put mine down this morning. Elbows point straight back. Baby cobra on your inhale. Very little weight in your hands. Really let your upper back strength do this work. And then back to the belly and the forehead. Pressing up into table or plank. And downward facing dog. From your down dog, right leg lifts. Foot forward between your hands. Lean, keep that lean forward, hands reach back. When you're ready, shoulders over hips, hands to the sky. Maybe looking up, and then hands come down. We step forward, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise up, reach up, inhale. Sit back to chair, exhale. Now this time as you find your chair, we're going to swing those arms back behind you, clasping the thumbs or all of the fingers. Begin to lay your belly down onto your thighs and let those arms fall any amount away from your low back. Don't force it, soften into it. Now, if with a thumb clasp or hand clasp you feel stuck, separate those two hands, fist your hands, and just like you have a little superhero cape, let those arms fall away from your low back. Separate those back molars. Let the jaw move a little side to side. Maybe shake your head no a couple times. And then hands are going to release all the way down by your feet. Let's bend those knees, roll up little by little by little. As you rise, let's turn the palms forward, thumbs out, just like we did on our backs. Roll those thumbs back as though there's, a floor or a wall to touch behind you. Let those shoulders broaden back. Front of the collarbones opens. Lengthening up through the crown of your head. Inhale, hands to the sky, gaze straight forward. Let's shift into your right foot. Bring your left knee up toward your chest. Check in with your balance this morning. Just see how the state of your mind, the state of your energy is influencing that connection to the ground and that stability. Notice how the shoes you wore this week impact how your foot is connecting to the ground. And then let's take that left leg. We're going to step it all the way back behind us into your lunge. You can choose if you want back heeled up or down, your choice. And we're going to bring your hands down to your heart. As you bring your hands into your heart, we're going to web all of those fingers together into that clasp. Press the palms forward, like you're pushing something away from you. Keep lunging into that front leg. And then keep pushing those palms away from you. We're going to start to take them up toward the sky. And just listen to your shoulders when it's a good place to stop. Let's press really actively back through that left heel. And begin to take your palms, like you're painting a rainbow on the ceiling, and move them toward the right. Press back through that left heel as much as you're leaning the palms toward the right. And then let's bring your hands back to center. Undo that clasp, let your hands come down into your heart. And we're going to turn to face the long edge of your mat. You'll need to wiggle that left foot back a little bit so your feet are parallel. Wide stance, parallel feet. Let's lift your hands to your heart to your hands. Strong, active, engaged legs. And let's fold forward over your legs here. Now, as you come down into this fold, let's take your hands to the ground. And then like you did earlier in that down dog variation, we're going to walk your hands forward, pop onto fingertips, and let the weight really effort back into your legs. So it's that same kind of wide-legged down dog you did earlier, but the feet might be a little wider now. And the entry was a little different. Now I want you to breathe into the sides of your waist here. And almost as though someone is very gently, lovingly, someone that you would invite to do this, just ever so gently pulling back on your hips. Kind of maybe has their hands on the edges of your pelvis there and is pulling back. And hands are glued to the ground. So there's this great sense of tractioning and lengthening along the sides of the waist, sides of the pelvis, sides of the hips. And then we're going to walk your hands in under your shoulders. Find that sort of halfway lift shape. And we're going to put a little bend into that left knee. Right leg stays straight. You're in control of how much that left leg bends. And you can just take your hands, walk it toward your left foot. I am not mirroring you right now if that throws you off. And then we're going to do that same thing to your right leg. Right knee bends, left leg straightens. Hands walk any amount over to the right. One more time to the left. And one more time to the right. Back to center, 2 straight legs, hands under shoulders, active legs. We're going to sneak your hands to your hips and slowly rise all the way up to standing. The top, just go ahead and turn all of your toes to face the front of your mat. Step that left foot forward to meet the right. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, sit back into chair. One more time, we're going to take those hands behind you. So opposite thumb on top, if you can remember, or your 2 fists. And we're going to lean that belly down onto your thighs. Let the arms fall away from that low back. Let your head release. And then let your hands come down. Legs straighten. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Left leg stays. Right leg steps back. You get the choice. Back knee down or up. Just kidding. We have a balance pose to do. It's right foot forward. I was like, something's not right. Come on up to standing. Psych. Over into that left leg. Right knee comes into your chest when you're ready. Check in with that balance. Feel how this foot connects to the ground and how it shifts weight. I always think about kind of like those pin toys in the dentist's office or the doctor's office where you push your hand in and it rises in the shape of your hand. If you had one of those beneath your foot, where would that shape be? What would it look like? How would that compare side to side? When you're ready, let's take that right leg back into your lunge. Hands to heart. And we're going to web those hands, those fingers together again. If you can remember, opposite thumb on top. Just make sure you're balanced throughout the practice. And we're going to press your palms way forward. Let those arms get straight. Keep lunging into that front knee. And then we'll start to take those palms to the sky as though you're pressing into someone's hands the entire time. Keep lengthening back through that right heel. And then as much as you're pressing back through that right heel, begin to paint the ceiling with those palms over toward the left. So you've got equal amount of exertion happening up and out through the palms and down and back through your right heel. Come on back to center. Release your fingertips toward the ceiling. Hands to heart. And we're going to turn all 10 toes to face the long edge of your mat again, making your feet parallel. I'm going to turn to face you so you get my better side. So this time, let's either keep hands at heart, hands at hips is option 2. Option 3, arms to the sky. Strong straight legs. We're going to fold from your hips, not your waist, to come forward. And I want you to find that length. So whether the hands are reaching forward or hands are at heart, we're just going to linger maybe halfway to the ground. Feel the pelvis, the legs pull back, and then let those hands come on down to the ground. Let that head fall. Inhale, halfway lift. Put a little bend in your right knee. Walk your hands toward the right. Same thing to the left. Back to the right. To the left. And then we're coming back to center. Push the ground away. Halfway lift. Active, active legs. Sneak your hands to your hips. Boop. Come all the way up to standing. And then let's turn all your toes to the front of your mat and step forward, feet together. Inhale, hands reach upward. Exhale, let's fold. We're going to make our way back to downward facing dog. I'll guide you through a vinyasa. If you just want to stroll to down dog, you can. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we'll fold, plant your hands, and step to plank. Now from that plank, knees up or down, we'll come through chaturanga, elbows point straight back as you lower, all the way to the belly. Inhale, baby cobra, maybe high cobra. Back on down. We'll press up through table or plank. And downward facing dog. From your down dog, let's take your right leg, lift it toward the sky. Then we're going to step your right foot forward between your hands. Pop onto your fingertips. We're going to start to take your hands past your right foot. You could always put a block or blocks beneath your hand if you'd like. And we're going to come up onto that right foot with your left leg flying. So it could be called standing leg lift or standing splits. It's also prep for warrior 3. So what I want is for that left leg, even if you can take it super high, I want you to keep it parallel-ish to the ground today. Feel where the weight is in that right foot. You can have a small bend to your right knee if that's helpful. Maybe you begin to bring one hand to your heart. Maybe 2 hands to your heart. You've got 2 more breaths wherever you're at. And then we are stepping it all the way back into your lunge. As you step down and back, hands to the sky. Ground your back heel, let's open. Warrior 2, shoulders open toward the long edge of the mat. Right hand forward, left hand back. Inhale, let's straighten that front leg, reach your hands to the sky. And exhale, bend the front knee, lower the arms. 2 more times. Straighten, reach, bend, and lower. 1 more time. We'll keep that front knee bent this time. Let's inhale, left hand down the back leg, right hand to the sky, reverse. And then exhale, 2 hands down, around your front foot, back heel lifts. Back you go, downward facing dog. Now option to stay here or option, inhale, plank. Knees up or down, nice and slow, exhale, chaturanga. Elbows and hugging in, shoulders gliding away from the ears. Inhale, low cobra or high cobra. Back to the belly. Up through table or plank. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts when you're ready. And let's step that foot forward between your hands. So instead of coming up, we're going to take your hands forward. Blocks are always a good idea if they're helpful. And then we'll lift that right leg off the ground. Doesn't have to get parallel to the ground. It could be lower, but let's not take it higher so that if you want to try to balance here in a moment, you're ready for it. Feel where that weight is in your left foot. And then maybe one hand sneaks up. Maybe both hands sneak up. Wherever you're at, hands down, hands up, one hand or two hands. Can you feel the length of your waist, the length of your spine? One more breath. And we're going to bend that front knee and step it all the way back into your lunge. From that lunge, we'll ground that back heel, open up, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach your hands skyward. And exhale, bend the front knee, lower the arms. Nice and easy and casual with the breath there. A couple more times. Straightening, reaching, inhale. Bending, lowering, exhale. One more time. We'll keep that front knee bent this time. Right hand down the back leg, left hand reaches up. And hand around your front foot. Back heel lifts. Back to downward facing dog. And one last time, your choice. Down dog, vinyasa, whatever serves you here in these breaths. Moving in harmony and in sync. Breath and body. We're going to meet up in your downward facing dog. And from that down dog, we're going to make a journey to the front of the mat. So if you would like to play with a hop this morning, bend those knees, look forward, and on an exhale, hop, top of the mat. Halfway lift. Bowing forward as you exhale. Rising all the way up as you inhale. Hands to heart. Be still. Settle. Feel all of those complexities of humanness within you, the heart that's likely beating a little faster than normal, your breath, the sensations of energy throughout your body, the temperature on your skin, of the air, of the heat you've built inside. Now we are going to come into one final balance shape this morning. And if you are feeling a little wobbly, you might head to a wall or a couch or a bookcase or something to hold on to. We're coming into figure 4 chair. And I'm going to give one other alternative. If figure 4 chair is not your favorite, a tree pose is going to be an alternative as well today. Okay. So we're going to start balancing on our right leg. We're going to sit into chair first. Hands can come to heart or hips for now, just to give them something to do. We're going to shift into that right leg, lift that left foot, bring your ankle to that right thigh, let the knee fall open. If you've gotten here and you're like, tree pose is there for you. Walls, I'm sure you have a wall or a couch or something you could hold on to. So option 2, keep hands at heart or on hips. Option to take your 2 hands up toward the sky. I want you to feel that kind of dance between your hips. So as you hug your right hip in, that left hip's going to want to pop out. As you hug that left hip in, the right hip's going to want to pop out. And can you find that happy medium between those two? Now with that idea of length from the outer pelvis through the waist, we're going to begin, if it works in your body today, to tip forward. Remember, hands could be at heart or hips or reaching forward. And at most, we're going to get that spine parallel to the ground. I think of driving a little Mario Kart car here for some reason. So avoiding or trying to minimize the turtle shell on the back. Just allowing that spine to be really long. Another option, if it helps, would be to take that reaching back of the hands we started early in class with. Just different ways to explore that cultivation of length. And then nice and slow, or maybe not slow if you step out, come on up. Left foot to the ground. Hands by your sides. Palms forward, thumbs back. Shoulders back. Head held high on top of that spine. Deep breath all the way down into the basin of your belly. And exhaling as though you could exhale all the way through the crown of the head. When you feel ready, let's get that other side. Chair pose. Weight into that left foot, right ankle, left thigh. Hands, hips, heart, sky, your choice. Feel that hip dance. Find just the right amount of hug. And then let's start to tip forward if it works in your body today. Any amount, with the most being parallel to the ground. That standing leg is bent, so you're still in that figure 4 chair. You've got 2 more breaths. Whatever happens, happens. It's complex, right? It's just like being human. Sometimes you step out, sometimes you stumble a bit, sometimes you have to take a moment of pause, and sometimes it just feels really natural and good. Come on up, nice and slow. Foot on the ground. Let's take one more big reach up toward the ceiling. Bend those elbows, heart high, gaze up. And then big reach up. And we are coming all the way down to the ground. If you would like to lower through chair and then through a squat. If that's safe in your knees and ankles, here we go. If not, find a safe way for you to get down to the ground. And as you come down, legs straight, toes pointed up toward the sky, hands out to the sides, and just sit up nice and tall. If this feels pretty limited here, you feel like you have a decent amount of low back round, you might grab block or blocks or blanket and prop your tush up a little bit. Feel your thighs press down toward the floor as your toes pull back toward your knees. Feel that length up through the crown of the head. Let's go ahead and bend your right knee. Pull that foot into the thigh or the calf. Knee falls open to the side. We're going to take a little rotation toward that left leg. 2 hands up toward the ceiling. Feel the heaviness of your hips, heaviness of your sit bones. So our goal, just like we've done a few times in class today, is to not round from the waist as we go forward, but it's to fold from the hips. So we're going to start to lay ourselves up and over that left leg. You'll know when to stop. Try not to push through that. When you find your good stopping place, hands to the floor, or maybe some of you foot. Try to minimize sort of the intensity of sensation. So if you've gone really deep, back out a little bit maybe. Let's close the eyes, and I want you just to feel the planting of your pelvis, kind of a sense of stability and rootedness there. And then your spine, the sides of your waist, elongating out of that root, out of that foundation. The chin likes to help us reach for the foot for some reason. It can't help. Let that soften in towards your neck, and let even the back of the neck be elongating from deep at your root. And then we'll walk those hands back in. Nice and simply, maybe help that right knee up. Right leg goes out to straight. Hands back beside you. Sit tall. Thighs rooting down. Toes pulling back. Heart and head high. When you're ready, let's reach down, help that left knee bend. Left foot on inner thigh or calf. Little rotation toward that right leg. We'll take 2 hands upward. Feel your foundation, that platform. Instead of just hinging up and over, up and over, up and over. There might not be a ton of flexion that happens for some of you, and that is completely okay, but it's going to be safer for your low back to hinge this way than to fold from that waist. So when you find your maximum fold there, hands to the ground. Like a plant growing toward the sun. Just want you to feel those roots, feel that foundation of your pelvis and low back, and let that effort and activity be down and back. And then that traction happening along the spine, all the way through the crown of the head. And then we'll come up one more time. Guide that left knee back up. Left leg out. One more time, very active, grounded, rooted legs. Thighs pressing down, toes pulling back, hands beside you. Let's make sure you're near enough the front of your mat. Near enough? I don't know. Near the front of your mat that you can lie down onto something. Hands to the sky. Feel that heaviness of your hips. Let's start to lengthen forward. We're not going to go very deep, but again, try to come from the hips forward as opposed to that waist, just rounding and bending. And then come right back up, inhale. And then we'll allow that waist to bend now, but back. We're going to take your hands, reach toward the feet, really root into the feet, into the legs, lower yourself all the way down. As you come down, let's take your hands up overhead, get super, super long from fingertips to either toe tips or heels, whatever feels natural there. Big inhale into the belly. And a full exhale. Let's take your hands up to the sky, turn the palms towards your face, lower the back of the hands to the mat, thumbs rolling open to attempt to touch the ground. Outer shoulders melting down, shoulder blades gliding into one another. We're going to bend your knees, place the feet on the floor. Press down into your feet, lift your hips. And as though you have like a a swing on a swing set or a silk, right? And like aerial yoga underneath your pelvis, just holding you up. Could you feel that sort of cascading of the spine, that falling back and down of the shoulders, the head being held? And then nice and slow, hips come down. Let those feet wiggle out a little wider. And just like we started our practice with, let's take knees to the right, nose to the left. Arms can slide out to that T or goalpost shape. And then inhale, nose and knees to the sky. And knees to the left, gaze to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, knees right, nose left. Inhale, back up. Lingering in this rhythm, this range, this pulse. Couple times, couple moments. Let's do one more to each side. And as those knees and nose come to center this time, let's gently pull the legs into your belly. You can either give yourself one final hug this morning. Those of you who like a happy baby, you can take that happy baby holding behind the knees or the ankles or the feet. And whether you've hugged the legs in, you're taking that happy baby, maybe you keep that really gentle lolling side to side. A soother, a settler, a calmer for your nervous system. Right? Same reason we rock and lull babies. If there's any remaining pose or movement you need, here's your time for it. And when you're ready, we are releasing those legs down onto the floor, arms down by your sides for our Shavasana. Gifting yourself with any shape here that allows you to feel grounded, to feel rooted, to feel inspired to release. And breathing into your humanness, all of the various complex layers of yourself here. The complexity and the beauty that exists within. Let's begin to breathe in a little more fully and exhale a little more completely. And as you feel ready to add some movement back into your body, just start really easy, really small, gradual. And gently guide yourself from the ground to a side and eventually up toward a comfortable seat. Finding yourself eventually in that seat with palms pressing together in front of your heart. Just honoring yourself this morning as you are this morning in this moment. All of that complexity of life. And just truly honoring the fact that you are doing the best that you can in each and every moment. Carrying with you today maybe a slightly greater sense of compassion and acceptance, patience for yourself, and those same attributes for everyone you connect with along the way. Thank you all so much for practicing together this morning. Namaste. Thank you all very, very much for being here together today. I hope, especially those of you in the Oregon Northwest area, you get out into that sunshine today. Soak it up and just let it get deep into your soul. We're back at it this week. Monday with Seville. Wednesday, I'm teaching our noon class this week. Jamie's with us next Saturday. Tomorrow at noon, for those of you in the Salem area, we are opening registration for another in-person class outside at Coria next Sunday morning. So 10 spots available tomorrow at noon for next Sunday. And that is something we're going to start offering, I think, about every 2 weeks out there at Coria. We've got a class in the same kind of format coming at Legacy as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you so much, Ruth. Glad you were here. Yulia, thanks for being with us as well. If you would like, yay. Thanks, Shelly. David, glad you were here. Jade, oh, thank you so much. Happy Saturday. Nicole, thank you. Thank you for being here. Most of you know this by now, but if you're newer to us, the information about donating for class is in the description for class. Venmo is Thanks for Yoga, and PayPal is yogaandbeerthanks@gmail.com. Whatever feels doable and authentic to you, we appreciate very, very much. Kayla, enjoy the sunshine as well, you and little Nico. I think that's all the things today, everyone. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care of yourself and take care of your loved ones and your community. Thank you, everyone.